April 2003. The Iraq War, led by the United States, was at its peak. Missiles, fighter jets and tanks were destroying Baghdad's once glorious city, block by block. And right at that moment, when everyone believed Saddam Hussein was either captured or killed, something unbelievable happened. Iraq's presidential palace was destroyed, the government collapsed. But Saddam, he vanished into air. 9 months. For a full 9 months he remained invisible. But the question was, where did Saddam Hussein hide? And how did America finally find him? This is the untold story of history's greatest manhunt.
Saddam Hussein, the former Iraqi president, was found hiding in a small bunker near his hometown.
Saddam Hussein, a man whose shadow once shook the entire Middle East, a name that made enemies tremble and left world leaders confused and cautious. From 1979 to 2003, for 24 long years, he ruled Iraq. There was a time when Saddam appeared on the world stage as an ally of America, but times changed, and so did the game. America's old friend had now become its greatest enemy. During his reign, Iraq saw two sides of history, modernization on one hand and devastating wars on the other. He was the central figure of the Iran-Iraq War and also an internationally condemned leader for invading Kuwait. He faced accusations of genocide and chemical weapons use. And in 2003, using those same allegations, America launched Operation Iraqi Freedom. That's when the deadliest game began, the game to hunt down Saddam Hussein. Billions of dollars spent, local spies deployed, satellite surveillance active. America was searching for Saddam, hidden in one of the world's most secure locations. But one question remained. Where was he? How was he hiding? And how did America finally track him down? When everyone assumed Saddam was probably dead, he disappeared like smoke. For 9 full months, yes, 9 months, he remained hidden from the world's eyes. No video messages, no news, no proof of existence. Nothing. Rumors began to spread across global media. Some said he escaped to Syria. Others claimed Russia gave him secret asylum. Some believed he was hiding in an underground bunker somewhere in Iraq, a place even satellites couldn't reach. Even his loyal bodyguards, captured by US forces, couldn't tell where their former president was. To solve this mystery, the US launched Operation Red Dawn, one of the most secret and daring operations in modern military history. Eventually they surrounded the city of Tikrit, Saddam's birthplace, believing he was hiding somewhere nearby. Day after day, hour after hour, they searched every field, every room, every shadow. No one knew what he was eating, where he was sleeping, or even if he was still alive. Then something happened that remains etched in history as a tale of mystery, betrayal, and shock. In late 2003, the US military created a special deck of cards with the names of Iraq's top criminals arranged like playing cards. Saddam was the ace of spades, meaning no matter what, he had to be caught. Based on intelligence, satellite surveillance, and local sources, they suspected Saddam was somewhere around Tikrit. But despite multiple raids, his exact location remained a mystery. Every night in Iraq was silent. People would run at the sound of helicopters overhead. Then came the night. US soldiers targeted a small village named Ad-Dawr, just 15 kilometers from Tikrit. Over 600 troops, 2 helicopter squads, and a full special forces unit surrounded the entire area. The greatest manhunt in history had begun. They searched every house, every courtyard, even beneath palm trees. But there was no sign of Saddam until December 13th, 2003, Saturday afternoon. A soldier noticed something strange. A thin metal cover on the ground, like a farmer had buried something. But his instincts said otherwise. When they lifted the cover, they found a narrow underground hole, 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, reinforced with concrete. The world would later know it as the Spider Hole. A soldier leaned over the hole and shouted, "Come out!" And in an instant, a deep voice echoed from inside. "I am Saddam Hussein. I am the president of Iraq, and I want to negotiate." The entire unit froze. The man they spent billions to find, the man hunted for months, was hiding in a tiny hole beneath the ground. They pulled him out, his hair disheveled, beard grown long, wearing simple clothes. No one could believe it. This was once the man who ruled Iraq from a golden throne. Saddam was immediately taken to a temporary base where his identity was confirmed. And then came that infamous video, soldiers shining a flashlight into his mouth, checking for any cyanide capsules. They found with him 2 AK-47s, a pistol, and around $750,000 in cash. But the shocking part? He didn't fire a single bullet. President George W. Bush announced to the world, "We got him." Just 3 words, but they shook global politics to its core. After his capture in 2003, Saddam was kept in a secret military facility in Iraq. Years of investigations and testimonies followed until his trial finally began. He was found guilty of the 1982 Dujail massacre, where 148 Shia Muslims were killed. But that wasn't all. During his rule, thousands had disappeared, been imprisoned in secret jails, or ended up in mass graves. On November 5, 2006, he was sentenced to death. But what was surprising? After the verdict was announced, Saddam didn't scream or protest. He remained silent, listening calmly, like a warrior who knew the battle was over, and now it was just time for reckoning. Finally, on December 30th, 2006, the day before Eid al-Adha, at 6 a.m. local time in Iraq, the death sentence was carried out. His body was later buried in his family graveyard near Tikrit. Even that day, Iraq's reaction was divided. Some celebrated, tearing down Saddam's statues. Others wept, saying, "He was our leader." But the question remains to this day, was his fate justice? Or was it simply America's political revenge? America's claim was that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, but those weapons, they were never found. So the question arises, was the war truly about security? Or was it just a cold game of politics? From 2003 to 2006, Saddam Hussein faced a dramatic trial, accused of war crimes and human rights violations. But how transparent was that trial really? Many international analysts say it was more about revenge than justice. Even today, many Iraqis believe that the chaos in their country began only after Saddam's fall. On the other hand, many believe he was a ruthless dictator whose downfall was necessary. Now it's your turn to decide. Was Saddam Hussein a brave leader or a tyrant? Was his trial truly justified? Or was it just American political vengeance? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, subscribe and stay with us.